Oh, you better believe it. The Emperor's Feast, it's coming down right now. You taking a look at this? We got everything. Everything. 20,000 leagues under the sea in here, and a couple off of the range as well. Let's get it. What's going on, everybody? It's Mel here, Darkside of the Grill. What do we got cooking on the menu today? Let me tell you all about it. Wagyu beef with a mound, a buffet of seafood. We're calling it the Emperor's Feast. Are you ready? These guys are ready. Look at these monsters. Absolutely beautiful. Just flipping. We got mussels, we got octopus, we got shrimp, we got prawns, we got soft shell crab, we got dunGeness, we got lobster, we got Wagyu beef ribs, the whole 9 yards going down. Make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell, do all the notifications. This Szechuan base with the Cajun as well, a fusion. It's gonna be wild, it's gonna be nuts, it's gonna be spicy. Let's get it. This is gonna be deadly.
Fresh seafood is key to this feast. It will be the make or break to any good meal. So we've definitely collected quite a collection here. Some of it has to be frozen, it is what it is, but now we're gonna throw that live lobster and live dunGeness crab in the steamer. We have salt water in here, so we mixed it a pretty decent ratio. Getting that going. We're gonna steam them live, then we're gonna pull them out. Well, I'll rotate them first and then pull them out. We're gonna end up using the broth from that steam instead of dumping it. We're going to use that as the base for the broth for our Szechuan soup now, right? So I'm going to add water to that. Then we got Szechuan peppercorns. I like a bit of the Vietnamese kiss, so we got some star anise in there as well. This is very important. Source your ingredients all the time. Thai chilies, very important Thai chilies. I love this. This is such a beautiful dish for me. Shiitake mushrooms, a couple sticks of cinnamon. Now we got fresh garlic, crushed, red onions, lime juice. Never skimp on the fruit juices when you're doing this. The citrus is super important. Lime juice, if you got lemon, throw some lemon in there as well. Definitely adds a ton to this. I like to just hand squeeze it. Hand squeezing's easy. If you have to go with the concentrate, so be it, but nice and easy. Now we got our oyster sauce. Definitely love that kick of oyster sauce in there. Heartbeat hot sauce, the Darkside, Szechuan shiitake, that always helps. Get that in there. And now a little bit of the Cajun kick, the Tony Cratchers, get that. Don't be shy with this one. I like to hit this hard. I also like to put that in the butter. I will cut this with butter at the very end to finish up. We got bean curd paste, spicy bean curd paste. I absolutely love this stuff in any broth that you're making. Even ramen. Definitely kicks it up a notch, and it gives you that nice base flavor to it, which is really good. And then, of course, we got the Cranky Grandma, the pepper oil, right, with the crisps in it. This one's a peanut pepper oil with the crisps. Any of that line, the Cranky Grandma line, is amazing. I absolutely love it. Now we're going to boil it off. We're going to cook this down. Let this go at least a half an hour before you start throwing ingredients in there other than this stuff, the fresh stuff. You definitely want to get that broth nice and thick, right? Let it come down a little bit, render out just a little bit. You want to see those chilies start to sink. When those chilies are done floating on the top and they start to sink, that's when you know you're sitting in a good place. And those dried shiitakes have puffed up and they're starting to sink as well. You know you're in a great spot. So we got corn on the cob, fresh corn on the cob split. Super important. Fresh again. Fresh all the time, right? We've got mussels. We've got crawfish. We've got prawns. Oh, this has been such a killer. What else do we have in here? Little octopus. Swimming crabs, right? There's a little octopus. I love those little guys. And yeah, so what we're doing with this, it's essentially like a hot pot, pretty much. You're not wanting to pile everything in there and cook it all at once. We're going to cook things in phases, right? More lime juice, always with the lime juice. I'm telling you, lime juice is super important. I've got that smoked beef rib. I've got a couple of them, right? Leftovers from a big cook I did. Live fire, so we're throwing that in the broth as well. We're going to let those go for about 10 minutes, flip them around side by side. Get that beef and that Wagyu into the broth. That's super important. And you also want them to take in that Szechuan, that Cajun Trust me, this is the next level stuff. Next time you're making beef ribs, put a couple to the side when you're done, and then double back and make this dish. That's a pro tip for you right there. Leftover barbecue, even if you have to save it. Now we're gonna take the steamed lobster and the steamed crab, and we're gonna throw it in there as a finishing touch. Not to cook it anymore, but we're trying to get some of that Szechuan and Cajun inside of it as well. Right, so we're gonna cook this down, pull that out, and then we're ready for the next batch. So after it's all rendered down and cooked out, it's got a ton of that seafood umami in there now. Add some more water, right? And now we're gonna toss the noodles in there. These are shrimp noodles. Absolutely love my shrimp noodles. So we're gonna cook them in there just a little bit, pull them out, and then this is gonna become the base for the Emperor's Feast. This is the really important part now. Well, shrimp noodles have had a couple minutes to sit in there and take in all of that broth. You want these noodles funky. Trust me, you want them funky with that broth. And then you're going to take a ladle and skim some of that broth out to go into those noodles, and boom, after you're plated up, this is how it's supposed to look. Just gnarly. You got your beef ribs in there that you soaked in that broth just a little bit, right? Everything's been run through that broth just a little. And it leaves their flavor behind in the broth, as well as takes on a ton of that Szechuan, shiitake, Cajun. Look at this. Every single thing in there is spicy, a little bit umami, and it's ready to go. And that broth inside, well, you know what? Let me just show you.
And here we go, the Emperor's Feast. Take a look at this. You know what I want to do? I want to get into this real bad. I want to show you guys. Mussels. Got the broth. Oh. This is what I wanted more than anything. Well, the lobster, but come on out. So good. There we go. My knifeware chopsticks deadly, eh? And you ready for this? This is what I'm talking about right here. Barbecue Cajun, Szechuan, Canadian fusion, baby.
For those of you that stuck around, I really appreciate it. I love and appreciate all of you, and I can't thank you enough for the support. It's been an absolute dream to start cooking these things for you guys, and your support means the absolute world to me. So I thought I'd just leave this on here and say thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Now subscribe.